This is Rafay Siddique from Department of General History, batch 2K21 under roll number 36. Today my topic is Afghan War and its implications on Pakistan. The Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in late December 1979. The Soviet Union intervened in support of the Afghan Communist government in its conflict with anti-communist Muslim guerrillas during the Afghan War from 78 to 92 and remained in Afghanistan until mid-February 1989. In April 1978, Afghanistan's centrist government headed by President Mohammad Daoud Khan was overthrown by left-wing military officers led by Noor Mohammad Araki. Power was thereafter shared by two Marxist and Leninist political groups, the People's Khalq Party and the Banner Parcham Party, which had earlier emerged from a single organization, the People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan, and had reunited in an uneasy collision shortly before the coup. The new government, which had little popular support, forged close ties with the Soviet Union, launched ruthless purges of all domestic opposition, and began extensive land and social reforms that were bitterly resented by the devotedly Muslim and largely anti-communist population. Insurgencies arose against the government among both tribal and urban groups, and all of these known collectively as the Mujahideen. These uprisings, along with internal fighting and coups within the government between the peoples and banner factions, prompted the Soviets to invade the country on the night of December 24, 1979, sending in some 30,000 troops and topping the short-lived presidency of People's Leader Hafizullah Amin. The aim of the Soviet operation was to prop up their new but flattering client state, now headed by banner leader Babarak Karmal, but Karmal was unable to attain significant popular support. Backed by the United States, the Mujahideen rebellion grew, spreading to all parts of the country. The Soviets initially left the suppression of the rebellion to the Afghan army, but the latter was beset by mass desertions and remained largely ineffective throughout the war. The Afghan war quickly settled down into a stalemate, with more than 100,000 Soviet troops controlling the cities, larger towns and major garrisons, and the Mujahideen moving with relative freedom throughout the countryside. Soviet troops tried to crush the insurgency by various tactics, but the guerrillas generally eluded their attacks. The Soviets then attempted to eliminate the Mujahideen civilian support by bombing and depopulating the rural areas. These tactics sparked a massive flight from the countryside. By 1982, some 2.8 million Afghans had sought asylum in Pakistan, and another 1.5 million had fled to Iran. The Mujahideen were eventually able to neutralize Soviet air power through the use of shoulder-fired anti-aircraft missiles supplied by the Soviet Union's Cold War adversary, the United States. The Mujahideen were fragmented politically into a handful of independent groups, and their military efforts remained uncoordinated throughout the war. The quality of their arms and combat organization gradually improved, however, owing to experience and to the large quantity of arms and other war material shipped to the rebels via Pakistan by the United States and other countries by sympathetic Muslims from throughout the world. In addition, an indeterminate number of Muslim volunteers, popularly termed Afghan Arabs, regardless of their ethnicity, traveled from all parts of the world to join the opposition. The war in Afghanistan became a quagmire for what by the late 1980s was a disintegrating Soviet Union. The Soviets suffered some 15,000 dead and many more injured. Despite having failed to implement a sympathetic regime in Afghanistan, in 1988 the Soviet Union signed an accord with the United States, Pakistan and Afghanistan and agreed to withdraw its troops. The Soviet withdrawal was completed on February 15, 1989 and Afghanistan returned to non-aligned status. In April 1992, various rebel groups together with newly rebellious government troops stormed the besieged capital of Kabul and overthrew the communist president Najibullah, who had succeeded Karmal in 1986. But this was not the end. As Soviets leaves Afghanistan in 1989, another conflict arises in 1992 where a transitional government sponsored by various rebel factions proclaimed an Islamic Republic, but jubilation was short-lived. President Burhanuddin Rabbani, leader of the Islamic Society Jamaat-e-Islami, a major Mujahideen group, refused to leave office in accordance with the power-sharing arrangement reached by the new government. Other Mujahideen groups, particularly the Islamic Party Hizb-e-Islami, led by Gulbuddin Hikmatyar, surrounded Kabul and began to barrage the city with artillery and rockets. These attacks continued intermittently over the next several years as the countryside outside Kabul slipped into chaos. Partly as a response, the Taliban-led group former Mujahideen commander Muhammad Umar emerged in the fall of 1994 and systematically seized control of the country, occupying Kabul. Now come to the impacts of the Afghan War on Pakistan. The Afghan War has had significant and multifaceted impacts on Pakistan, affecting its political, economic and social landscape. Here are some key areas of impact. Number 1. Political dynamics. The war has influenced Pakistan's political landscape, leading to shifts in the power dynamics. Pakistan's military and intelligence service have played a crucial role in Afghan affairs, which has sometimes strained relations with civilian governments. The ongoing conflict has also contributed to political instability and has been a factor in military interventions in civilian governance. Number 2. Security concerns. The war has exacerbated security challenges in Pakistan. The influx of refugees, the rise of militant groups, and the spillover of violence have created an environment of insecurity. Pakistan has faced numerous terrorist attacks attributed to extremist groups that gained strength in the context of the Afghan conflict. Number 3. Economic impact. The war has had economic repercussions, including increased defense spending and strained resources. Pakistan has also faced challenges in trade and investment due to security concerns, which have hampered economic growth. Additionally, the burden of hosting millions of Afghan refugees has put pressure on public services and infrastructure. Refugee crisis. Number 4. Pakistan has hosted millions of Afghan refugees since the 1980s, leading to social and economic strains. While some refugees have integrated into society, others remain in limbo, contributing to issues related to health, education, and employment. Number 5. Militancy and radicalization. The Afghan conflict has contributed to the rise of various militant groups within Pakistan. The porous border with Afghanistan has facilitated cross-border militancy, complicating Pakistan's efforts to combat terrorism and maintain internal stability. Number 6. International relations. Pakistan's role in the Afghan war has shaped its foreign relations, particularly with the United States and neighboring countries like India and Afghanistan. Pakistan's support for certain factions in Afghanistan has often led to tensions with other regional players and has influenced its diplomatic strategies. Number 7, and the last one, social fabric. The war has affected Pakistan's social fabric with increased polarization and radicalization in some communities. The presence of extremist ideologies has challenged traditional social norms and has influenced youth, leading to concerns about long-term societal impact. The Afghan war has left a lasting legacy on Pakistan, creating a complex web of challenges that continue to influence the country's trajectory. The war placed a burden on Pakistan's economy. The cost associated with supporting the Afghan resistance, coupled with the influx of refugees, strained resources and infrastructure. Aid from the US provided some economic relief, but the long-term impact was challenging. The Afghan war contributed to the spread of jihadist ideology, which was fueled by propaganda and recruitment efforts during the conflict. The radicalization has had long-lasting effects on Pakistan's societal fabric, influencing many young people and fostering an environment where extremism can thrive. The world witnessed some great geopolitical shifts. Mainly, the Soviet-Afghan War marked a significant moment in the Cold War, leading to shifts in global geopolitical dynamics. Pakistan's role as a frontline state in this conflict elevated its importance in international politics, but also made it vulnerable to the repercussions of superpower rivalries. The Soviet-Afghan War significantly altered Pakistan's trajectory, leaving a complex legacy that continues to influence its political, social, and security environment till today. The prolonged Afghan War and the associated violence have led to social fragmentation and increased sectarian tensions within Pakistan, impacting community cohesion and stability. The legacy of Afghan war has contributed to ongoing humanitarian challenges, including the need for healthcare, education, and employment opportunities for both Afghan refugees and vulnerable Pakistani communities. Overall, the Afghan war has left Pakistan grappling with a range of complex and interrelated problems that have shaped its national security, political landscape, and societal dynamics.